Thank you for joining us, Mrs. Gaspar. I don't mean to disturb you.
Not at all, Mrs. Howard.
Ms. Howard, Mrs. Gaspar. It's Ms. Howard?
Oh, you're still not married? But don't worry, my dear. The right young man will come along someday.
Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time today, but I have a serious situation that I need to clear up. And since Eddie won't talk to me, I think you're the only one that can help.
I'll help in any way I can.
Excellent. Now, can you tell me if Eddie has ever been in your room? At night, I mean.
Oh, I have a very important question, Miss Howard. Which one is Eddie?
Oh, I'm Eddie, Mrs. Gaspar.
Oh, yes, of course, my boy. Yes, Eddie's been in my room at night, Miss Howard.
And can you tell me how his underwear ended up in your room?
His underwear? Oh, this is embarrassing.
Please, Mrs. Gaspar, there's nothing to be embarrassed about. What did Eddie do to you?
Eddie? Absolutely nothing.
Then how did his underwear end up in your room?
Well, these are mine, of course. I'm a bit uncomfortable telling you this, but I have an underwear fetish. I love underwear. It's always made my daughter a little bit uncomfortable.
But they have Eddie's name in them.
Well, yes, the things you find on the interwebs these days.
Okay, well, maybe you could tell me what he was doing in your room at night.
Oh, he is just the sweetest man. I suffer from night terrors, so he checks in on me at night.
He does.
I do? Yeah, I do.
Good work, Eddie.
Thank you.
He's such a dear. You're lucky to have him working here.
We are, yeah.
He's just the sort of young man you should be looking for, Miss Howard.
I'm sorry for taking up so much of your day, Mrs. Gaspar. Come in.
Hi, Miss Howard. Oh, hey, Eddie.
Hi, Ethel.
You guys having a party in here?
Not quite.
What is it, Ethel?
Oh, sorry, Miss Howard. We need your help with something out here.
Please excuse me, Mrs. Gaspar. Eddie, can you please help her back to her room?
Yes, ma'am. Of course. God, thank you, Mrs. Gaspar.
Be quiet. I just saved your job, so you owe me again.
What? But, no.
Come by my room at the same time tonight. We'll talk about how you're going to pay me back this time.
But, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to sleep with you. I should have never listened to you or did this in the first place.
Well then, maybe Miss Howard really should hear the truth about your nightly visits. I didn't think so. I'll see you tonight.
Yes, ma'am.
Eddie, my boy, welcome. How much money did you bring me? What do you mean you don't have anything for me?
I tried, Mrs. Gaspar, but she wouldn't let me take anything.
I thought I was pretty clear. Are you that stupid?
No, you told me to bring you some money. I tried. I'm sorry.
You know what that means. If you can't bring me money, you have to bring me satisfaction in another way.
Oh, God. Please, Mrs. Gaspar, somebody might come in.
Then you better hurry. Unless you want the aura hearing the truth about what you do to me at night.
Truth? That's not the truth. I didn't initiate anything. That was all you.
Eddie, sweet boy, that is what happened, yes. But that's not the truth. The truth is what I tell your boss, because everyone knows you're a loser, an idiot, and a nobody, and I'm kind old Mrs. Gaspar. Fiora will believe me. Everyone will believe me.
But that's not fair.
You poor dumb man. Is it fair that you have to hide the fact that you love someone just because of the color of his skin? And then you have to marry his best friend, a man you have nothing in common with, and raise a family with him? And while the man you love is lying in a hospital dying alone, you have to mourn in private. Fair. Fairness isn't anything we can find in life, Eddie. It's just a lie we tell children to protect them from living. And it's so fragile. So very fragile.
I'm sorry. It sounds awful.
It sucks getting old, Eddie. It's just plain shitty. You should thank God with the shape you're in, there's no way you'll make it past 50.
Well, hey, at least you have your daughter.
Yeah, she's great. She's why I have to blackmail you.
What do you mean?
I had to give her my savings or she'd lose her house. I'm a manipulative old lady, Eddie, but I'm not a monster. I don't want my daughter and grandson on the street.
Your daughter sure is lucky to have you. You really are a good woman.
Maybe. Now get down there and work out that mouth of yours.
Oh, Jesus.
This is $100.
It's 101.
This is it?
It's all I could come up with.
You idiot. That isn't enough for a month of mouthwash in this place. I told you, I need $500 a week.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get it. I promise. It's much harder than I thought. I'm doing everything I can. I mean, I'm stealing money from my friends and my family, and I'll get it. It's really tough.
It looks to me like I'm going to need to take a more hands-on approach with this if you're going to be on top.
Oh, God, what are you talking about?
You'll see. Just be sure to come back tomorrow night and try to groom yourself a bit first.
And I'm supposed to what?
I told you, if you can't pay me what I'm asking for, others can pay me for their services.
Yeah, but... Oh, God, seriously?
You know Mrs. Warren in room 432? She'll be here in a bit. She's your new client, your first client in your new profession.
And I'm supposed to...
If you know what's good for you. That'll be her. Quick, take off your shirt and try and look sexy. I know it's a challenge. Try. Kitty, come in. He's there, waiting for you. He's yours for the next hour, unless you want to pay me more.
Girl.
Lord help us. You did not sell this boy short, Cecilia.
Oh, it's a real shame the rest of him is just as fat.
Oh, don't be silly. I love my man with a little snuggle on him.
That's true. These rooms get frighteningly drafty at night.
Yeah, fortunately for me, that will not be the case tonight.
You wicked, wicked man!
You know, he reminds me of this boy I once knew, Fred Dukes, from the top of his head to the tip of his... Well, oh, Fred. I used to love the way he walked, with those jeans that looked painted on and that jiggle from behind with every step. Oh, he broke my nose once.
Oh, my stars. You poor man.
Oh, yeah, but it wasn't malicious. You see, Fred would lose control after he, and so he was flailing about wildly, and I didn't realize this, so I was slow moving my face away. But I can guarantee you that I did not make the same mistake the next 24 times.
My ears have never heard such things.
Oh, gosh, I know. I just go on and run off at the mouth all the time.
Mrs. Gasper, can I please put my pants back on? I mean, I have to do some work.
Of course, you silly boy. See, Glenn, see how polite he is? Just standing there with his bits waving about, letting two old farts go on and on.
He is quite a catch. Well, I guess I'll take my leave now. I will see you later tonight, Edward.
The room is all yours, starting at 10 o'clock. It's a real shame. You can grow old in this country and find out you don't afford the luxury of dying in peace, Eddie. Thank the Lord for morons like you.
I really don't like it when you call me fat. It's my brother who's the fat one.
He must be huge if he's the fat one between you two.
Hey, who is that?
And don't touch that.
Is that the guy that you're telling me about?
What?
The one that you couldn't marry?
Yes. Jacob. He was the finest man you could ever hope to meet. We'd meet in secret, he and I. After I was married, I mean. Oh, he knew it was wrong. I knew it was wrong. But is love ever wrong?
I don't know.
Of course you don't. You wouldn't know the truth if it were staring you in the face. That's your problem, Eddie. Not my Jacob. He was smart as a whip. He'd figure out these elaborate plans for us to spend as much time together as possible, and we'd take advantage of every second. Not just for sex, no. The best times when we were alone together, doing nothing, lying there, talking. I still remember the nights we danced together under the stars.
Wow. Well, I'm sorry you two couldn't be together.
People can't get what they want. They get what they can take. For whatever reason, I just couldn't take Jacob.
Well, it doesn't sound like you were given much of a choice.
Get out of here. Don't you have something to do?
Yes, ma'am.
And be sure to take an enema or two before tonight. Who knows what Glenn's going to want from you?
Yes, ma'am.
doing here? Go away.
I'll be just a minute, Mrs. Gasper. I think I left my keys in here somewhere.
Then find them and get out of here. I feel like death. The last thing I want is you around.
What's wrong? Are you okay?
Don't pretend to care.
But I do.
Right, like you like having sex with your grandparents.
It's not the worst thing that ever happened to me. By the way, I know about you and Gina.
She told it. Smart woman. Too bad you didn't treat her right.
I tried really hard.
That's all you can do in the end. But it wasn't enough, like most men. Part of me feels bad about putting you through this, Eddie. I don't listen to that part of me, but it's there. I want you to know that.
Part of me feels bad that it felt so nice to be needed. Except for Mr. Reed. I've been trying so hard to forget that. But it was nice that you needed me to help you. Gina never did.
I guess I did, sort of. Anyway, someday you'll find someone who actually doesn't mind how badly you screw up everything.
Cecilia, there are no stars. But would you take a moment and dance with me?
Don't be a fool. There's no music.
There doesn't need to be.
I feel like as much of a moron as you are for doing this.
My office, Wolf. Now!
Yes, ma'am.